Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining Virtual Drinking Buddy. So, I'm heeding the call. I accepted the challenge that Shane set out. As you can see here, that's Shane. And he issued a last 5 beers challenge, and so stay tuned and see what I picked. So I went to Wall Wine and Spirit. It's in Papillion, Nebraska, a suburb of Omaha, to get my last 5 beers, which I was going to record what I was picking out while I was at the store, but there were two big strikes against that. I mean, first off, the place was just super packed. Apparently, going to a liquor store the Friday before the Super Bowl is like trying to Christmas shop the night before Christmas. It was just fucking nuts. There were people everywhere, and they were handing out free samples of everything except for beer. So there were a ton of people, and that just got my anxiety through the roof, and I wasn't about to bust out my camera and start filming. But also, I was being followed around the store by some greasy-haired young lady that appeared to work there. And I would say it was because I was in the store for about an hour trying to decide what all I was going to buy, except she started following me after I was there a couple of minutes. She asked me if I was finding everything. I said yes, thanks for asking. And then it seemed like every time I turned around, there she was smiling at me. So I don't know what that was about, but it kept me from recording, to say the least. However, I did manage to find 5 beers that I truly adore. Copper Alt by Zipline Brewing. Copper Alt's one that I reviewed maybe 2 years ago, and just a big fan of it. Kind of in the amber family. It's got a nice amber color, like a light khaki head, plenty of effervescence. Got some caramel notes on the nose. Definitely some caramel notes when you drink it. There's a nice bready maltness to it. And a little bit of a roasted character too. Just a very enjoyable beer. Cardinal Pale Ale by Nebraska Brewing Company. So this particular beer is one that I had for the first time. It would have been my first Omaha Storm Chasers game, and I was just really impressed with it then, and had several of them that night, and then had a few over the years here and there, and then didn't have it for years. But when I did a video with the Alkanauts as seen here, I didn't think I'd be able to find the exact same beer that they might be able to get, so I just suggested pale ale and found this, and forgot how much I really like this beer. It weighs in at 6% ABV, and unlike probably a more traditional pale ale, it's not got the same hop character to it. It's really probably more of an amber with a hop profile. But as you can see, it's kind of amberish in color. I guess it kind of depends on how the light's hitting it. Got a soapy white head. And you do pick the hops up on the nose. Yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit of caramel and malt on the tongue. A light but noticeable, like a floral hoppiness, and just a little bit of a pine tar on the end. Well balanced, smooth, medium body, not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination. M80, medium pale ale. So M80 is made by Bottle Rocket Brewing. They're out of Seward, Nebraska. And I know I've talked about this a few different times. I've reviewed this beer, and I've talked about this company, and I can never remember where they're from, but it's Seward. So they're like central-ish Nebraska. They're a couple of hours west of Omaha, and probably at least an hour north of Lincoln. So, excuse me. It's a smaller town, but they're well known for their 4th of July celebration. That's why they're called Bottle Rocket Brewing. And yeah, I got another pale ale. And again, this one I thought of as more of an amber. As you can see by the color here. And it does have a nice hop profile. But it's also got, if I remember correctly, nice caramel notes. Again, the maltiness that I like. Yeah, and I think with this one, you get a nice floral hop flavor mixed pretty well with a light caramel note and a fairly noticeable malt backbone. So good. Polliner Oktoberfest. So anybody that's familiar with my channel probably knows that probably above all other beer styles, I enjoy Oktoberfest. And it's hard to think that there wouldn't be an Oktoberfest in my list. Luckily, they still had this on the shelves. It very much out of season. I'm filming this, what is today? February 10th of 2023, so yeah, this has been sitting on the shelf for a while. But I was super glad to see it, because this is, quite honestly, my favorite Oktoberfest. Although, there really isn't an Oktoberfest that I dislike. But, yeah, maybe there is. Maybe the Sam Adams one I'm just not as fond of, but this one is just quite delicious. It's got everything an Oktoberfest should be. A nice bready maltiness, some grassy notes, some caramel notes. Maybe it's more of a crackery malt than or like a bread crust. Or when you drink all head, that's going to be a burp here in about 30 seconds. Yeah, that is so good. Trooper by Robinson's Brewing. So, this is the original Trooper Premium British beer. Created by Iron Maiden, brewed by Robinson's Brewing. This one is always going to hold a special place in my heart. I first tried it early on in my reviewing. A good friend of mine, Jeremy Beery, biggest Iron Maiden fan I've ever known, was really excited about my channel and was going to get this for me. And my plan was to actually surprise him with it, go out and buy it before he had a chance to buy it, and try to get him to do a review with me. But unfortunately, he passed away just a few days after he suggested this beer, so when I reviewed this beer, it was a memorial to him. And to be quite honest, I don't even remember how it tasted, because it was it was a pretty tough time. It's still even a little hard to talk about now, but yeah, well, let's look at the beer. It's got a nice kind of orangish color. Just maybe kind of an amber. Kind of depends on how the light's hitting it. Soapy white head. There's a little bit of bitterness on the nose. And I'm picking up like a kind of a bready maltiness, too. Yeah, I mean, in the flavor, it's not overly bitter, but I'm pretty sure this is ESB. I don't know if it says anywhere here on the can. It probably does, and I just don't remember reading it. But honestly, it could have been the worst beer in the world, but it's always going to hold a special spot in my heart. Jeremy and I worked together. We spent a lot of time talking about music, talking about Iron Maiden, talking about our childhoods, just stuff like that. Just really bonded, and yeah. So, yeah, luckily it's a very good beer, but it could have been the worst beer, and it probably still would have been in my last 5. So, cheers to you, Jeremy. That's my last 5. I appreciate you watching, and if you liked what you saw, please hit the like and subscribe button below, and don't forget to tell your friends. And this is the Malted Gentleman reminding you, you only have one liver, so use it wisely.